Chelsea against Grimsby Town in the third round of the Carabao Cup, as both Callum Hudson-ODOI and Reece James will get their first minutes of the season in our bid to finally pick up our first home win and clean sheet under Frank Lampard in a game that Chelsea, without question, should win rather convincingly. Hello there guys, and welcome back to Blues TV for my preview of Chelsea versus Grimsby Town in the third round of the Carabao Cup, and I'm looking forward to it. And not because the game is particularly interesting. Let's be honest, we're taking on a League 2 side in the third round of the Carabao Cup. It's not that interesting, but as you can tell by the title, by the thumbnail, and of course I also mentioned it in the intro, 2 returns, that will be very exciting for Chelsea fans. They will be very exciting, hopefully, for the rest of the season. Reece James and Callum Hudson-ODOI, and we just have to look forward to that. I will speak about how many minutes they're likely to get, whether they will possibly even start the game, and of course everything else you need to know ahead of the game tomorrow, which is of course taking place at Stamford Bridge. So it is another home game for us, the third home game in a row. But yeah, before getting into speaking about our opponent, as I usually start the previews, of course, let me ask you to please subscribe to Blues TV if you are new to the channel. That would be massively appreciated. Previews like this one, live reviews straight after the game, fan cams, vlogs, all sorts of other content as well. So if you fancy that, please be sure to subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads so you don't miss any of our future, content videos. And also be sure to drop a like on this video. That'd be massively appreciated. The more the better, of course. I'm not going to set a specific number, but if you're watching this, please just go down below and drop a like. That'd be absolutely great. But now, let's get into it and start it off by speaking about our opposition. That, of course, is Grimsby Town. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about them simply because not that many of you actually care. I mean, let's be honest now. And also, we're playing a League 2 side. Well, we should never take any game or any opponent too lightly. When we're playing a League 2 side, the result will mostly depend on Chelsea's and our own performance rather than, on our opponent. It's just as simple as that. But of course, I will tell you everything that you need to know and that is important about them. So like I just said, they're in League 2, currently 9th in the table on 15 points after 10 games with 4 wins, 3 draws and 3 defeats. And to get to the third round of the Carabao Cup, they first had to beat League 1 side Doncaster 1-0 and then League 2 rivals Macclesfield on penalties after a goalless 90 minutes. By the way, if you don't remember, no extra time in the League Cup except for the final, which of course we experienced last year, and that rule hasn't changed. Grimsby pretty much always set up in a 4-3-3 formation, but they obviously don't tend to come up against the top 6 Premier League side. So, they could go with something very different tomorrow. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it could be a 5 at the back. It could be a 3 at the back that turns into a 5 at the back. We don't know. It might just be their standard 4-3-3. In all honesty, we should play well enough for that to be rather irrelevant. Let's be honest. I would bloody hope so, that it's not going to matter all that much what formation they go with. And just to mention it, the biggest danger man surely seems to be their striker James Hansen, who's scored 5 goals so far this season, as well as getting 4 assists, and that of course in their 10 league games so far. Other than that, to be honest, there's not that much to say on them, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. So let's just get into Chelsea team news. Chelsea team news rather than a press conference, simply because there was no, or is no press conference today or just before this game. Not 100% sure why, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter that much. But as for team news, there is some good and some bad. Of course, we all know Emerson Palmieri had to come off injured again against Liverpool with the same hamstring problem that he suffered on international duty with Italy. And at this point, to be honest, we just don't know how much longer he'll be out for. I guess we'll find out more on Friday. But even if he was fit, he probably wouldn't have featured tomorrow anyway. So it doesn't really make much of a difference, for the game tomorrow anyway. Andreas Christensen, of course, picked up a knee injury on the weekend against Liverpool as well, which Frank Lampard said after the game is not too serious. But he did reiterate that he's not a doctor. We'll just have to wait and see what the doctors say in the coming days, with the scan saying everything. But, Christensen will almost certainly be out of tomorrow's game, same as Antonio Rudiger, who's of course still labouring a groin problem that he suffered against Wolves. The positive news, on the other hand, are that Mason Mount, for example, said post-game that his ankle, which of course, he injured during the Champions League game against Valencia, was still being slightly swollen during the game against Liverpool, held up well, felt strong, and he was very happy with it. And even when he slightly rolled it towards the end of the game, it felt fine on Sunday. So, that's of course great news, because I think almost all of us, if not all of us, feared a much, much worse injury than it, sure seems to be when we obviously saw the challenge, the tackle by Francis Coquelin by, Valencia. That obviously, it didn't look good, but he seems to be all right, which is obviously great news. But, we'll get into it, whether I think Mason Mount will feature tomorrow. And the same actually goes for N'Golo Kanté, who of course has been labouring an ankle injury as well. And he also said post-game that his ankle is now back to feeling, perfectly fine basically, and feeling good. And of course, especially the second half, he had a great game against Liverpool, scored an unbelievable goal. So that is of course great news as well, that he doesn't seem to be labouring any injuries anymore. And then arguably the best news, of course, got into it earlier already, is that Frank Lampard confirmed again that both Reece James and Hudson-Odoi will be involved against Grimsby Town. He did not state whether they would start or come off the bench, but it will most certainly, without doubt, be one of those two. Possibly one of them starts and the other one comes on. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, it's just absolutely great news. But with that, coming to Chelsea and how I believe we will / should set up tomorrow night. And personally, I think and hope we're going to go for a 4-3-3 again. It is my favourite formation with the current fit players we have, I guess. Only, other than that, did a video on that on my own channel, to which the link, by the way, is down in the description. And I think, 4-4-2 diamond would be quite a good thing, quite a good formation to use once we have everyone back fit. But for the time being, 4-3-3 would be good, although it is always likely when we go for a proper 4-3-3 under Frank Lampard teams against not Liverpool, that it's going to be this strange mix of a 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1 again, where everyone on Twitter and everywhere will have a debate which formation it was. I think it's probably going to be that one again. And as usual, of course, on this channel, we start from the back with the goalkeeper, and that will probably be Willy Caballero, to be honest now, with his first game of the season. And, fair play, fair enough. Why shouldn't he get a game? That'd be good, give Kepa a little bit of a rest. But then, of course, coming to the centre-backs, and that's already where I'm not 100% sure anymore who will start, because Kurt Zouma, I'm pretty certain, will start. But what about next to him? Of course, will Tomori play again? Because that is the question. Rudiger's out, Christensen is out, we don't really have anyone else. Or will it be the youngster Mark Way, which I'm still not 100% sure when I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm just going to go with Mark Way, who's, of course, a youngster from the academy and also already featured during pre-season, so it could be him. I wouldn't mind if it's him or Tomori. Tomori probably could do with a little rest, even though as a centre-back you don't run that much, but still, I'm sure you could do with a little rest after a great performance against Liverpool. And personally, I like Way. Whenever I've seen him play, I think he's looked pretty good, and it would be nice for him, if he got a start. On screen, I stuck with Tomori, as you can see, of course, but yeah, it will be one of those two. We'll just have to wait and see which one, Frank Lampard goes with. Then at left-back, it will probably be Marcos Alonso. Emerson is out, but it could, I guess, in theory, also be the youngster Ian Maatsen, of course, the Dutch young, left-back. And, it could be him. He featured in pre-season. He already travelled to Wolves with the first team, but didn't end up being part of the 18-man squad when, of course, Emerson was out and, Reece James was out as well. So just in case we had that option, I guess. He did travel at least. Again, on screen, I went with Alonso. But really, I wouldn't mind Maatsen playing. I think wouldn't be too bad at all, especially if we can, just have a good development curve, and we could just get rid of Alonso without necessarily having to buy some really, really, really expensive fullbacks. So that'd be good. But to be honest, I'm not that fussed either. Even Alonso should be more than good enough against Grimsby Town tomorrow. And on the right, I really hope that the right back will be Reece James tomorrow. I really hope so. Firstly, of course, about 11 days ago, got 45 minutes for the under-23s, while Hudson-Odoi got 60 minutes in that game. But then both of them played 75 minutes for the under-23s this past weekend on Saturday. So I think Reece should be able to start. He could be able to start, I think. Maybe stay on for 50 to 60 minutes. Wouldn't probably do more than that. Bring Aspie on after that. And it would just be absolutely lovely and great to see him get that start. It would be his first competitive start for Chelsea. It would be his first competitive minutes for Chelsea, actually. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's featured for us, except in that, obviously, post-season charity game before the Europa League final. And if, he doesn't start, obviously, he will come on. Frank Lampard has confirmed that if he doesn't start. And obviously, it just has to be Aspilicueta then. There's no other options there. Then coming to midfield, I believe personally that Jorginho and N'Golo Kanté will get a rest, while Mateo Kovacic will stay in the team and play alongside the youngster Billy Gilmour and Ross Barkley. That is what I think the midfield three is going to be. If it's that 4-3-3 that I would, like to see and that I think we will see, whether Gilmour or Kovacic plays at the base and the other one on the right-hand side of the midfield three, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, when Gilmour came on against Sheffield, he played on that right, hence why I put him there right now. But, to be honest, I just don't know. Like, Billy Gilmour hasn't played enough. Frank Lampard hasn't used him enough for me to know whether that will be an option for him. And we also don't know for sure whether Frank Lampard, like Mauricio Sarri, sees Kovacic as an option in that base of their midfield three. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said earlier, it could be the mix of the 4-3-3 or and the 4-2-3-1, or it could just be a full-on 4-2-3-1, which then could allow, Kovacic and Billy Gilmour to play in a double pivot, and then Ross Barkley to play in his arguably best position, the number 10. That would be interesting as well. But, on screen, I just went with a 4-3-3. But it could be a mix of the both. It could be a 4-2-3-1, same players anyway. Personally, the reason why I think that Mateo Kovacic will be the one to stay in the side, rather than, for example, Jorginho, I guess, or Kanté. But Kanté, of course, with his injury, it's probably better for him to get a rest. But I personally believe that against Brighton next weekend, Lampard will, or at least he might, put Mason Mount back into their midfield three. And that would obviously mean that Kovacic doesn't start, because Jorginho and Kante are pretty much guaranteed to start when they are fit. So, you know, if Mount is dropped, you know, pulled back, I guess, into the midfield three, Kovacic doesn't start. Hence why I think he will start tomorrow. Of course, all of that could be wrong, and, you know, Lampard just does something completely different. We'll just have to find out tomorrow, and then, of course, in the game against Brighton. Then coming to the wingers, now if Reece James starts, Hudson-ODOI starts as well. That's for sure, that's guaranteed, because he is the one that's slightly more likely to feature or to start, I guess. Simply because, you know, even in his first game back for the under-23s, he already got 60 minutes against, both got 70 minutes, 75 minutes on the weekend. Hudson-ODOI actually scored in that game as well, got an assist in the first one, that he played. So, you know, he's looking good. I mean, I didn't watch the second game now that he featured for the under-23s, but in the first one, he looked good. You could see that he hasn't played like properly football for a while, but, you know, his feet look great again. His Achilles look absolutely fine. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. Like, I'm really just hyped for it, to be honest. Like, he's finally signed a new contract, and now I just want him to get underway and hopefully be as good as we all think that he can be. And on the other side, you know, of the two wings, I guess it better bloody be Pulisic. It better bloody be Christian Pulisic. I mean, if Pedro starts and Pulisic is left out again, Lampard is off his head. Like, come on now. Imagine you don't start Pulisic in 3 games in a row, and that includes a Carabao Cup game against Grimsby Town. I mean, that would be a bit mad. I mean, okay, if Hudson-ODOI, of course, doesn't start, then it would just probably be Pulisic and Pedro. I don't think he will then go with Mount and Willian just to give them a rest. But, you know, if Callum Hudson-ODOI does start, it has to be Pulisic on the other wing, and then Pedro comes on for Hudson-ODOI whenever he has to come off. Like, it has to be like that. I'm sorry, Lamps, but it just has to be. And then coming to the striker, of course, Abraham should and will get a rest. And then it's just about whether Lampard goes with Batshuayi or Olivier Giroud. I mean, Michy came on against Liverpool while Giroud wasn't even in the squad. Not sure if there was any injury that we didn't know about, but that was just what we know. Giroud was in the squad, Batshuayi was and came on. So with that, I do kind of assume, I guess, that Michy is slightly ahead of the Frenchman in the pecking order. But right now, frankly, I have absolutely no clue who Lampard is going to pick. If you've watched my videos for long enough, you will know that I'd pick Batshuayi over Giroud any day of the week. So he makes the graphic, but I mean, I'm joking as well. It's not any day of the week. I do understand that Giroud has qualities that Batshuayi doesn't have, and there's not much in between them, if we're going to be totally honest. The biggest thing is, I guess, age. And then one last thing I want to mention, as we're talking about the line of information, I guess, is that one of our most promising academy products right now, Faustino Anjorin, again, really bad on his pronunciation, even though he was born in England and English citizenship. Not 100% sure how to actually pronounce that name. But he's a 17-year-old attacking midfielder, and he said that he stands a good chance of actually making the squad tomorrow, and then I guess, depending on the score at the time, might even be able to make his Chelsea debut tomorrow, which of course would be absolutely unbelievable. And just let that sink in for a second. If you're around my age, or even older, of course, the kid is born in 2001. 2001, he could be making his Chelsea debut tomorrow. Like, what? Making me feel real old now. Making me feel real old. 2001. Bloody hell. Feels like about yesterday, do you know what I mean? And I'm not that old. But as for the game itself, I do hope that we don't take it too lightly, because that can always go wrong. We'll always remember that game against, I always mix up what is Brentford or Bradford. Whichever one of the two it was that we lost 4-2 after being 2-0 up. That kind of game. We don't want to have that happening again, so I hope that we don't take it too lightly. I hope we do play quite a few youngsters, but you know, I hope that it's not a mistake in the end, because obviously inexperience in that. But I don't think it will be, so I do hope that we go with quite a few youngsters to even start the game. And generally, we just have to be focused. You know, don't concede silly chances, don't concede silly goals. Keep the ball well, pass it around quickly, and make sure we have plenty of movement, which we didn't have against Liverpool, in my opinion. And then obviously, make sure we don't concede from any other bloody set pieces, because I'm confident that we'll score. But, you know, a clean sheet will be good, and generally just being comfortable in this game will be good for everybody involved. But at the end of the day, we just have to win this one. I mean, there is no two questions about it. We're the clear favourites, and to be honest, we have to win this convincingly as well, alongside getting our first clean sheet and home win of the season. I mean, even if it's bloody Grimsby Town, we have to start somewhere. Grimsby Town from League 2 even, but we have to start somewhere. Like, you know, we need to get that first home win. And like I say, we need to start somewhere, and a clean sheet will be bloody good as well. Although it would be quite funny if Caballero starts, of course, and we get a clean sheet, that he got a clean sheet before Kepa this season, which would be quite funny. But my score prediction is going to be a solid 3-0 win, maybe 4, although I still wouldn't be surprised if we conceded another silly goal and just win 3-1, 4-1, that kind of thing. But yeah, to be honest, guys, that's going to be it from me. Excuse me, that's going to be it from me. Please leave me your thoughts ahead of the game down in the comment section below. You know, who do you want to start? Do you think Hudson-ODOI and Reece James will start, or will they just come on from the bench later on? Leave me your score predictions down in the comment section below as well. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Like I said in the beginning, if you're watching this far, please drop a like. That just be absolutely massively appreciated. And of course, if you are new to Blues TV, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be absolutely great. And of course, be sure to smash the notification bell button and choose to be notified about all uploads, so you don't miss any of our future uploads. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. up to Chelsea. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Let's hope both Reece James and Callum Hudson-ODOI start the game, and I'll see you when I see you.